haven't been myself for a long time, but I haven't needed to be. It's been me and this cursed place I created and nothing else for decades. But now, knowing that whatever caused the mass hallucination is still out there, I need to know what it is and why the remnants are connected to it.
Howdy folks and welcome. I'm glad you can join me today for my review of Pacific Drive. This review will be a little different than my others. The reason being that Pacific Drive is one of those games that is best experienced by you, the player. I could talk for hours about the gameplay mechanics, story, atmosphere, but it would never give true justice to what this game sets out to accomplish. There are a few games out there that have had this effect on me, so going into this, I hope you know that I'm trying to be as vague as possible, but as detailed as possible. So, without further ado, let's get into it. You play as the driver, set to deliver some sort of package far off in the American forest. This was a spectacular opening for two reasons. One being the setting and scenery. This game's lighting effects and stylized models blend together into this pseudo-impressionist oil painting vibe. I loved it. Going from sunsets with different hues to dark and terrible storms made each venture out into the zone exciting and unique. The second reason was the ability to drive the car yourself. This was interesting because it had me feeling like I was in control, but that I was driving into some sort of trap, which felt eerie to say the least. You see, this area hasn't been maintained for a while, and as you continue, well, you know you're in for a trip. All of this sets up for a truly interesting story. Unlike Stalker or Escape from Tarkov, which have willing people going into the zone for their own reasons, Pacific Drive makes you feel like you've been abducted by some omnipresent force. I enjoyed the setup a lot and couldn't help but get immersed in the world 30 minutes into the game. I loved all the radio songs, and getting access to the garage was one of those aha moments. Learning how to maintain and upgrade the car was rewarding and actually had some story elements, which I won't get into. PSA alert. I didn't realize that there were multiple tabs to the fabricator, so folks, don't be like me and look out for the research you want. I spent around 3 hours just hoarding all the items without using any of them, which made me feel a little bit silly. Luckily, once this clicked, the rotation of finding objects to upgrade you, your car, and base was a great loop. You'll be exploring for so many items that I was glad that the game had a checklist that you could utilize, and the abundance of items was nice. If you're not a fan of extraction looters, maybe stay clear for now. I think there's a lot more to this game than the gameplay loop, like the story, but it did feel repetitive at times. The upgrades did make it feel worthwhile in general though. Speaking of the story without spoiling too much, so if you don't want any spoilers about anything, go to here. When you get brought into the zone, you get into contact with 3 different scientists that all worked in the zone before it all went to hell.
Okay, newbie, I'll keep this simple. Don't want to overwhelm that little brain of yours.
I really enjoyed all 3 voice actors from the start, especially with the guy with the Brooklyn accent.
You, out in the zone all on your own. They grow so fast, don't they? And I'll be back at the helm. Been a long time, old gal. Didn't think we'd, talk again after that whole Sasquatch incident.
Yes, I was hoping to go another decade without hearing your voice again.
I'm walking here. I also enjoyed the tape recordings you find in different zones. I'm a sucker for this kind of storytelling ever since playing System Shock 2 as a kid.
I wonder if you're already feeling the remnants effects, driver. Have you been fixating on the car, maybe?
If only we knew where remnants came from. Then we'd have a place to start on how to help you.
The zone might be easy to get into, but hard to get out. With the help of this trio, you're set on the task to discover the secrets of the zone and save yourself. The story lent itself to the gameplay so perfectly that I usually didn't differentiate the two. What I mean by this, for example, is the moment where we're tasked with going into the middle of the zone. We hear some random dialogue, and it sparked interest about outfitting her car with armor. They don't give you a quest to do it, you just choose to do it. It led me down this amazing venture for specific items that took an hour. This felt genuinely amazing, and I love the feeling like I have full control over everything going into the zone. All in all, if you enjoy looting and crafting games, exploration games, driving games, sci-fi games, and more, I'd highly recommend picking this title up on PC. Now, I don't know how much I can say that about the PS5. There's a lot of weird stuff about the performance, and I cannot get into too much detail because I do not know. So, if you're not a fan of looter or crafting games and find the loop repetitive and tedious, I would stay clear of this game and watch a story retrospective later on. This game is well worth its price in the story alone, and I enjoyed the gameplay mechanics and the game's many features.
At 0400, their experiment unleashed a gamma-ray surge that instantly killed both of them. The surge was an impossible amount of energy, orders of magnitude greater than any man-made source. It also triggered hallucinations in anyone awake within a 10-mile radius. It was a burst of widespread insanity, but only for a short moment.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope I did a good job at showcasing the game without giving too much away. If you liked the video, please leave a comment about what excites you about Pacific Drive, click that like button, and subscribe if you haven't already. If you enjoyed the video, check out my channel. I'm sure there's something there for you. And as always, see you next time.